A spider!
Spider, I don't know whether you're here to invade, infiltrate, or just replace us. I don't suppose any of that matters now. You're a monster! That's the role you seem determined to play. So I must play mine. The man that stomps the monster. Steve, where is it?
It's over there!
Hi, I'm Steve.
I'm David.
And we just watched Series 8, Episode 9 of Doctor Who Flatline, in which the Doctor and Clara encounter two-dimensional enemies and the Doctor gets trapped in the TARDIS. So, what did you think?
I thought it was great. Best episode so far. You know, obviously they're saving the best for last this series. I was impressed. I thought I liked the concept was original. The enemies were interesting. The visuals were great, and I thought that the acting was done really well.
Yeah, I agree. This was my favorite episode of the series so far. It had a ton of great ideas packed into it. The shrinking TARDIS was really cool. The enemies were well conceived, and special effects were great, really creepy, and there was great character interaction between Clara and the Doctor switching roles. That was very interesting to see.
Yeah. I liked the Addams Family hand out of the TARDIS moment. You know, there are a lot of just great, funny moments. You know, this series, I feel like sometimes in their trying to be humorous, they don't do it that well. And
it doesn't land a lot of time.
Right. And I thought they did it well this episode.
Yeah.
The funny moments were funny.
Yeah, so the Thing reference, that was great. What were some other moments that you really liked?
Well, my favorite moment was probably Capaldi's monologue at the end. For me, it was like the first monologue he's done that is like, that's a Doctor monologue.
Yeah.
He's had some good monologues, you know, that's shown him like what a great actor he is. But this was the first time I was like, yes, that is the Doctor. That is why the Doctor is awesome.
Yeah, and it's the first time in this series really that we've seen him face off against a very clear villain. That wasn't just somebody who was misunderstood.
Although it may have been misunderstood. But, you know, I kind of like that there was still the ambiguity at the end of whether or not they were actually had evil intentions. But he pointed it out himself. He said, at this point, I have no choice but to treat you as an enemy because you've given me no reason to think that you're not.
Right.
And in a lot of ways, I think this was the most moral the Doctor has been this series so far. He's been they've been stressing a lot how the Doctor has sort of been morally ambivalent. But in this episode, you know, he was clear. He was like, I am the protector of this plane. I am the protector of Earth. And I really felt like, yes, you know, he's the Doctor again. He cares about humanity.
This was the first time I feel in this series that I really accepted Capaldi as the Doctor fully. Whereas the rest of this series, I wasn't 100% sold on him.
Yeah, I agree. It was also a great Clara episode.
Yeah. Every episode this series has been a great Clara episode.
Yeah. I mean, she's definitely outshined the Doctor in a lot of them.
Yeah.
I also like the aspects of Doctor Who when we learn more Who science. And, you know, it's interesting whenever you hear the Doctor talking facts about the TARDIS, which then become canon. The fact that the science, the sci-fi behind the TARDIS and how it can shrink and how its weight is actually manipulated, because if it actually weighed what it weighed,
fracture the Earth.
Right.
It has basically a star.
Yeah, it's powered by a star. It probably wouldn't just fracture the Earth. It would probably melt the Earth or something.
And we've learned it has a siege mode that we got to see, which is interesting.
Which looks suspiciously like the Pandorica.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed that, but I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
You know, the Pandorica was built for so the Doctor couldn't get in or out, and that's pretty much what the TARDIS turned itself into.
Right. So the supporting cast, mostly forgettable. They served their purpose.
Yeah.
Nothing really stood out to me too much.
No, I mean the social commentary aspect of the episode, was interesting. This series there hasn't been a whole lot of that, but it was very obvious and in your face this episode, and it was the minor characters who served to play out that
Right.
that metaphor. So at the end of this episode, we saw Missy again, and it was implied that
They use iPads in heaven?
they use iPads in heaven, which phew.
Yeah, thank goodness.
It gives me a reason to be good, assuming she's in heaven. What do you think we learned from that scene?
Well, we learned who gave Clara the number.
Right. Did we know that already?
No.
Just suspected?
I didn't even suspect. I had kind of forgotten about that plot point until she said, "Oh, I chose well," and I thought, when did she mean she chose? Oh, she must have been the one that gave her the number.
Mm-hmm.
So now we know this Missy character goes back into last series. She's not
Right.
She's not a new villain. She's been manipulating the strings for a while, apparently.
Did you pay attention at all to the background of that scene, where she was?
No.
No. I didn't. I didn't get a lot out of it, but obviously it was spacey. I mean, the door was like triangle shaped. It wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't a 20th century Earth setting for sure. Except for the iPad.
Yeah. So I still don't have any solid theories on who she is.
Yeah, both Steve and I have stayed away from the spoilers. We know that a lot of you know what the premise of the 2-part series finale is going to be, but we don't. And at this point, anything I could come up with is just wild speculation.
Right. All right, I give this episode an A+.
So do I.
All right, we'll be back next week with a review of In the Forest of the Night. So until then, like us and subscribe.
And let us know your thoughts on this episode in the comments below, because we want to know what you think.